Hey guys, Matt here. So Gevo released some pretty big news today. It released its company and project update today. I will say that most of it is pretty good. There's one thing that may not be good in the short term, and then there's one thing at the end which I think a lot of us are going to like. So let's get into it. Now I'm not going to read all of this. I'm not going to hit all the points. You can go to the site. I'll put the link in the description. But I mean, most of it is business as usual. We go here, and Gevo talks about how they have a bunch of airlines signed on and take or pay agreements with the company, and they are projecting 2.3 billion a year in revenue. Now, compared to what Gevo is making today, I mean that is a pretty big jump. Now, the thing with this is that you have to wait until 2025 to start seeing the real big benefits. But I think any of us who's in the Gevo knows that. I mean, we are certainly not buying Gevo for what they're doing right now. Now, I'm going to skip the Inflation Reduction Act and get to this right here. So this is where we got some really good news and probably maybe not so good news in the short term. So the important part of this right here, the net zero one status, is that they are projecting the EBITDA in the range of 300 to 325 million per year, a 56% increase from the prior estimate of 200 million per year. Now, I'll level with you. That's pretty good. That is EBITDA. And I gotta say, I love to see it. I absolutely love to see it. Now, that is a huge jump up. Now, this is because they transitioned from isobutanol to SAF to ethanol to SAF, and that caused the project to be delayed actually from 2024 to 2025. But that's not the bad news. The bad news in the short term is that the total installed cost for Net Zero One went up from 640 million to 850 million. Now that's over the life of the project. Now, look, I know a lot of you have been asking me if I think Gevo is going to have to raise funds again by diluting stock. I mean, 850 million before. Now, if we look at their balance sheet, they have, as of right now, they have 470 million in cash. Yeah, I mean, now they are still, where is it at? They are still working with Chevron as far as Chevron possibly helping out on the Net Zero One plant. But as far as we know, nothing's happened yet. Now, as Chevron agrees to help, we'll have to see to what degree Chevron is going to help. But if it's not that much, I mean, they're going to have to raise funds again for the 800 million for the Net Zero One, and they are sure as hell going to have to raise funds for the Net Zero 2 plant, which they have to build at roughly the same pace in order to honor all these agreements. And from a short term, yes, that sounds pretty bad, especially with they're probably going to have to dilute shares at least once and probably twice. However, the way I see it is they are paying 850 billion. Heck, let's double that for the Net Zero One. So 1.7 billion in exchange for at least 10 billion, and that's just what's signed. I mean, there's probably more money coming, so especially with the RNG plant coming online and all that other good stuff. So they're paying 1.7 billion for at least 10 billion, and I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, the rest of this is pretty much business as usual. Everything's on track. Nothing's being delayed. I mean, I'm happy to see it. The good part right here is with the RNG project status. Now, we all know that the RNG is done and built and already producing RNG and all that good stuff. But Gevo did announce that they are going to begin recognizing the revenue in the third quarter of 2022. That is the quarter that just passed. So on the next earnings, we should start to see some actual revenue. Now, we're not going to see the brunt of it as they explain here until 2023. But we should finally start to, claw our way out of this revenue rut this quarter. So in the short term, that is very, very good news. And as we all know, the RNG product is expected to generate EBITDA of 16 to 22 million per year. And that is a pretty big jump from, what they've been doing. So I'll take it. Now, the stock did crater today, but is anyone surprised with the way the market's going right now? Like in this type of market, you could have great news and nothing's going to happen to your stock. Like until this crash is over, like I don't expect this. I don't expect the revenue. I don't expect any kind of good news to persuade the market for the short term to put any kind of risk on these companies. So I'm not bothered by the stock price in the slightest. However, I mean, as a Gevo shareholder, my position's already built. However, if it drops to like $2 or below in a short term, and we get some really good news in these next earnings, like I might have to start ramping up my purchases. Like I may have to buy some more Gevo. But anyways, take care, have a great day, and eat your vegetables.